Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Carrick, so we're going to be continuing on with Democracy 4, playing as the President of the United States. And we are creating the conservative theocracy of America, basically. And sort of with a religious conservative, we're going mostly capitalist economic policies, but there's been a few situations where we have prioritized conservative values or things like that, religious ideology and stuff above the economic stuff. So there's been certain, and we've also had to deal with the crises that we have, right? So to some degree, we don't always have a complete choice. I actually realized something. I was looking around in the, what's it called? Public service? It's called economy. Mars program. There is such a thing as the Mars program. We were talking about how we wanted to activate this. In fact, we might be able to actually earn enough money in such a way to be able to do this. We could actually get this going for only 31 billion. Everybody would love this. Patriots would love this. Religious membership goes down. Interesting. There's also banned Sunday shopping, but it costs a huge amount of political capital. This would be very thematic, something to work for. Rare earth metal mining could be kind of an interesting thing as well. Just kind of looking through some of these things, which ones we really want to target. I mean, there's a good amount of stuff here, like banning foreign church service, and actually they reduce immigration even, which we're talking about how we'd like to do that. We also kind of want to make sure that we can expand the term limits. Also, we have enough political capital at our maximum to build the wall, so we could actually build a border wall. So that could be something that we want to try to do. There's a lot of stuff here that we might want to do. I was looking at this synthetic meat research grant, and it seems to reduce water shortage crisis. It seems to reduce the food prices. I don't know why environmentalists are upset about this. This is a good thing, is it not? Anyways, put in the stories. I was thinking about this. It's like, this is kind of sciencey. This is kind of. I think ideally the people in our country just want, they just want to. We need like meat subsidies. You know what I mean? We need subsidies for the meat ranching industry. We want our real meat steaks. So I don't know if that really is very thematic there. So just try to kind of find things that. What would be kind of nice is if we could save enough points in order to get this up in the next. Oh, why is it only costing 34 now? Okay, so we need to save. Well, what do we need to do? How much are we earning per turn? It's saying as we're earning capital per turn 20. I think we actually get more than that, don't we? Let's try to spend about 10 of this. Let's try to spend about 20 of this. Yeah, let's try to spend about 20 of this, and then hopefully, or maybe 15 of it, and then hopefully we'll be able to get this up, executive term limits up before the next election. So let's kind of think about. One thing is we're paying for an amazing high-speed rail system now, which is super cool. Driverless cars. There's some neat stuff in here. Police drones. See, crime is not really an issue for us, to be honest. There's some intense stuff in here. Banning divorce, banning homosexuality, banning compulsory church attendance. Or sorry, having compulsory church attendance. Wowzers. Very expensive for the political capital to do these, as they're quite radical. But quite honestly, conservatives and religious love this. I mean, this could be religious membership would actually go down. Some of this stuff is kind of interesting, though, for the society that we're trying to build, although it's getting a little creepy with some of this stuff. Detention without trial. I was going to say, this should increase crime, right? Because people don't choose. This isn't a choice. So this would end up increasing crime. You're just criminalizing normal behavior. That's intense. It's intense. Close the airports. Shut it down. Shut it down. 40% of the country is okay with this? Oh, environmentalists want this. Okay. I think it'd be fun to do a libertarian run too, right? Where you do like toll roads, right? Where you would actually like, you wouldn't do something like banning divorce, right? This is very non-liberal, but you would do something like forcing people to pay a toll, allowing, like this idea of privatized roads and stuff, right? Or satellite road pricing, right? Like all this kind of crazy stuff. So, especially if you're allowing private companies to do that, which I guess, currently right now, probably private companies can make. I think they have some private roads in Texas and stuff, but realistically, you got to think it's incredibly expensive to build a private road and then to make your money back on that. I don't know. We could do this now, but it's a little expensive. Some people just can't be bothered to learn languages on their own in order to improve their chances. Compulsory language lessons will force these people to deal with the world outside, improve their attitudes. This does not sound like something we'd want to do. Isn't there something that forces people who come into the country to learn our language? To understand their language is the first important step to understanding people. By introducing a compulsory, school kids are taught a selection of foreign languages. Okay, no, that's not what we want. It's not really. This could be good. It's too expensive though. It's too expensive. It doesn't really solve a problem either. National anthem before the news. National anthem in schools. Youth don't like it. Youth don't like it. I mean, basically everyone in our country is already a patriot, but public religious broadcasts. Perfect. It's pretty cheap too. Let's go to the next. Let's save these points, go to the next turn, and try to do something big. Plane crash. Whoa. Aeroplane owned by a national carrier has crashed, killing all on board. Poor maintenance has been cited as the cause of the onboard system's failure. Low safety standards we're being blamed for the low safety standards. Holy cow, that's intense. We still have a little bit of a surplus. 34, is that barely enough? That is barely enough to go up one notch and make it so that we have a 3-term limit. So we're good. We're now good for the next. We can run for re-election again. Good. So we have no political capital. Let's go to next. It seems like the people that we've actually elected like us. They don't seem to be like falling off the wagon, so to speak. Crime is just at an all-time low. We could actually do some things related to crime. We could peel back some things that maybe we have in that section that aren't in line with conservative values potentially. Police chiefs are requesting that they be allowed to build up a global database of everyone's DNA to assist them in fighting crime. DNA evidence allows many previously unsolved crimes to be tracked to the perpetrators, although there are privacy concerns. Allow the database. This is likely to be an invaluable weapon to fight against crime. For too long, criminals have been able to deny responsibility for their crimes. With DNA evidence, we can substantially cut police time used to locate criminals such as murders and rapists. Unless people have something to hide, they cannot possibly oppose such a measure. Absolutely. Tough on crime. Why are we getting 100% of the vote? Something's clearly not right? I mean, part of it is because when you have religious faith school subsidies and you have you're teaching fundamentalism in schools, you get an incredibly high amount of the population is in religious membership, and this combination of most people are either a patriot or religious, and that's leading to an overall very, very high popularity. Although the retired actually like us more than anything, which is crazy. The retired like us a lot. Wait a second. Oh no, we've already enacted the higher term limits. Okay, we've already enacted those. It would cost us another 34 to go up again. I thought we only had 19. We didn't have enough to do that for some reason. I kind of want to do some of the bigger things. Maybe we just pass this one. Ban livestock imports. One of our neighboring countries has had a publicly announced case of foot and mouth disease in its cattle. Although the chance of this disease being spread to us is very low, you are being lobbied by farmer groups to ban the import of cattle from the country as a precaution. There's no statistical or scientific basis for a blanket ban on livestock imports from that country. The outbreak was highly contained and poses very little risk. This will be an unpopular move overseas, which will be seen as a blatant protectionism. This would be an unfair and unjust embargo for foreign goods. You know, the patriots, farmers, patriots, rural communities, and realistically, the capitalists would want us to reject the ban. But I think thematically we can approve the ban here, which I think is sensible. There you go. Foreign relations, internet trade do not like this though. We have a decent farmer population, don't we? Real estate bubble is like it's close. It's close there. We could look at improving state housing, but it'd be nice if we could do something else about that. Empty homes tax. That's not what I'm talking about. Mortgage tax relief. See, this doesn't really help. Like, this only helps people who have mortgages, right? 38 political capital. That's a good chunk. It's our maximum. We can go in here and we could activate one of these bigger things, like banning foreign church service. 54% of the country's all on board with that. Ban private education. Wait, why would 60% of the country want to ban private education? What the heck? Ban private healthcare. That's weird to me that that's showing 60% popularity there. Since the conservative, religious conservatives are highly benefiting in going through the private education system. So that's interesting to me. It actually requires 45 political capital to do that. It's rather cheap. I mean, this is like the opposite of what we want to be doing, but I was just clicking on it to kind of look at it there. School prayers, right? Racial tensions. I feel like racial tension is something we might need to be concerned about here. But for some reason, it's going down. Citizen test brings it down. Body cameras bring it down. Education brings it down. Racial Discrimination Act. Interesting. See, it's one of those things where realistically, because of the way some of these crises, like you can have crises if this, right? If this goes too high, it triggers a crisis. And that's not good, but it's like, well, do you have to deal with that, or can you actually create a society where you can ignore some of those crises depending on what those crises actually affect, right? Human cloning research, holy cow, that's kind of cool. Force political, military, religious oath. Not as popular as school prayers. School prayers, booyah. Twice a day, beginning and end. The beginning of the day and at the end of the day. There you go. You know, actually, bumping up our space program could be kind of neat. Look at those benefits. But the religious membership goes down. But they don't want to go to space? A lot of this stuff over here we're actually maxing out. We're not maxing out the vertical farm subsidies, though. Because technically capitalists don't like that. Where is the unemployment? Right here, it's a tiny little thing. So we still do technically have some unemployment, which I think you naturally want some unemployment, because if there was no unemployment, then presumably, well, you need a few percent. You need that little bit of just turnover, people moving on to different jobs and things opening up and opportunities being there, and still like a demand for workers, right? Because if there's no unemployment, then there's no, what am I trying to think? Oh, there could be actually, well, there could be just an under amount of workers, right? There's too much unemployment, then workers are not worth as much individually. Actually, having low unemployment, I guess, isn't the worst thing for the actual workers, because then they become more valuable and more sought after to a company. We got 60 political capital. We could just keep banking like a lot of political capital here. And we're getting 8 additional political capital from our popularity, which is nuts. But some of these people aren't liking us as much, it seems, but they seem to be holding pretty strong here. We just have a couple of people like this person here isn't giving us too much. I don't know, guys. This is looking good. Oh no, a spouse scandal. Your spouse has been reported to have taken a private jet to go shopping abroad. What's wrong with that? As leader of the government, this high-profile abuse of power will not be well received by the electorate. Nah, it's fine. Demand from the donor. Rare earth mining, metal mining. This could be huge. This could be huge. Okay. Good news, the global economy is doing well, and this has a positive effect on our GDP. Our GDP is like maxed out. Like, is this capped? I'm confused. Is this actually capped? You call it $50 billion a small surplus, huh? Let's implement this sucker. We were thinking about this earlier. The only thing that I'm wondering, though, with this, to be honest, is that I don't know if we need more GDP. Pollution's going to go up. Pollution is kind of a problem here. Reforestation is still not kicked in. What's taking so long over here? Like, you're gonna make me, it's almost like you're gonna make me do some climate change things. Bullshit food labeling. How do we help the environment without admitting to climate change? What is this? We've even been dramatically reducing car usage, haven't we? I think the high-speed rail subsidies are taking time to kick in, right? It's taking time to kick in. That should go to CO2 emissions, which are steadily going down. Reforestation still hasn't totally kicked in there. The GDP is just off the charts. That's one of our big problems right now. These things maxed? Subsidized school buses? What does bus usage look like? It's pretty high. It's pretty strong. That could be an easy thing to do there, just to telecommuting. That's maxed. 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 See, the biofuel subsidies, I don't know. It's bringing down CO2 emissions, but I'm not convinced that we need that or want that, to be honest. Look, religious broadcasts. What could we still do here? Ban foreign church services. 56% of the country wants this. Immigration's going to continue to go down. There we go. Dunzo. Oh. So he's demanding that we do that now? Sorry, dude, you're gone. We don't need you, man. We don't need you. Guys, thanks everybody for watching another episode of this playthrough of Democracy 4, where we're trying to create the conservative theocracy of America here as the President of the United States. We're going full conservative, right-wing, mostly capitalist economic principles as well. Although we've had to give a little bit of ground to try to solve some of these crises that are popping up on us. Some of these things, like, I gotta admit, this pollution thing is, our economy is just booming so much. I'm not sure what else we can do to help with that. But thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. We have expanded our term limits to 3, and we can continue to inch that up over time so that we will be able to be reelected for a 3rd term. And eventually we could hopefully get that up to the fact where I guess you kind of win the game maybe once you get that all the way maxed out so that you can just get reelected forever. But thanks everybody for being here. Making 50 billion in surplus. Everything's looking great. What is this looking like? Global economy is going up? Holy cow, like our GDP, I don't understand. Is our GDP maxed? Can you have a max GDP? Does it get capped, or does it simulate? Does it continue to simulate? That's something that I hope it's not literally capped. But thanks everybody for being here. I'll see you guys in the next episode.